I can see. You've been working hard, Emma.
Trying to.
I know what that's like, especially now that I look after the children every day.
They're not really children anymore, are they? You're looking after them every day. Why?
Farhad is...
What?
My son is a little depressed.
Depressed? Farhad, depressed? Or do you mean irritable?
No, he is depressed. Have you put the tea on?
Farhad has no reason to be depressed. Farhad has advanced in life from successful despite the odds tailor to brand name designer for Marks and Sparks. How the hell is it possible that he is depressed?
Do you think it is only work that matters to him, Aziza?
Whatever would give me that idea.
Well, you should see him. Lying around, not bathing.
Farhad not bathing?
Who are you calling?
We're just texting Neda.
A teenage girl receives a text. A teenage girl removes the newspaper and takes a photo of Farhad. Neda, what are you doing?
His hair does look a bit greasy, and he hasn't shaved.
Your phone is working now, is it?
My phone is fine. Just the reception here, it's not consistent.
Two thieves have floated to the top. We will have 2 visitors.
They shouldn't be looking after the children all the time. Farhad should be doing that. And they should be able to take care of themselves.
They can't drive yet, can they?
No, but
Farhad is not functioning.
he's one of the most relentlessly functional men I know.
He says you're going to exhibit at the La Gallery.
I'm surprised he remembered.
Oh well, I can see there's nothing to worry about. Everything's fine between you and Farhad then.
Yes, it is. Farhad is being dramatic. I don't know how this got so messy.
It will be all right, Aziza. Things that have got messy can always be cleaned up.
I create the disorder, then I can't focus.
The outer world likes to reflect inner state.
And another subject. Please call me Niaz. You remember that Niaz is my first name.
Yes, of course.
I went by my middle name at school, and then I didn't really know how to change it back. Emma was the name of my grandmother, the vicar's wife. My father always called me Niaz.
You know what it means?
A gift?
It can also mean desire. But to me, something stronger than desire, like the word longing.
What's that? My wedding ring? I take it off when I work.
Put it somewhere safe. If you take it off. I lost my wedding rings once. Farhad's father didn't speak to me for weeks.
Farhad takes after his father, doesn't he?
Yes and no. Farhad is not given to staying silent like me, you are wanting to say.
I'm glad to see you putting that in a safe place. Was it emotionally significant then, you losing your ring?
No. May I have a look of what you have been working on?
Well, I haven't shown it to anyone yet.
Projection of Michael standing in the basin. His scar is highlighted. He wears his hair and beard in the style of coffee house paintings of Chalamet. In one hand, he carries a long knife. There can be something comic romantic about this photo, but it is also appealing.
You don't like it.
No, I'm looking at it, taking it in.
It's just a sketch at this stage.
What has inspired this?
Nothing.
Wiggle quickly draws on his coat and shoes, grabs his map case and essence.
Well, maybe a sense of intimacy, the nearness of, the proximity to other.
Which other?
Humanity. Through the personal, I mean, there's a sense of intimacy in the unconscious, yet vibrant human body, which,
But you don't like drawing people.
because well, it doesn't play to my strengths.
I must say I disagree.
I've been ashamed to draw like this. There's an expectation to be minimalist and abstract if I'm to be taken seriously. But with all of my previous work, it's as if my eyes belong to someone else.
Your eyes? That's interesting. Not your hands?
My physical eyes speak to my hands, but my inner eye, and I think this is the most important thing for an artist, I haven't let it lead me. Here, look at these artists.
A loud gallery, so vibrant.
By the end of the month, my work will be in this catalogue. I hardly know what I'm doing.
But this is more than a start, don't you think? I must say, Emma. Niels John, I envy you. Look at him. You must be like to be an artist. Beautiful man walks in and takes off his clothes.
You think he's beautiful?
Compelling. Maybe it is just the way you portray him. Is he beautiful?
I'm very happy with the shoulders. I'm not sure about this bit here, though.
It is not the shoulder that strikes me. Well, not just the shoulder. Where did you discover him? At an open studio? And what about this? Is this a scar? Did you ask him how he got it?
No. I mean, well, artist models are naked enough as it is. I don't ask personal questions.
He sat for you here in the studio?
I think in viewing art, we have to move beyond the subject, the subjective, if you like, and move towards content, or rather, the greater meaning. I've decided that...
Don't keep me in suspense. Where did you find him?
Here and there.
What?
He found me.
How? Where?
Okay. If you must know, this is just an idea I have. I made it up.
All this detail from your head? But you have to see things in the first place. This is a man, and not just from your head.
I've got a photographic memory. A long photographic memory.
If you're trying to tell me you have slept with someone who looks like he escaped from the Daniel Steele's novel, I don't want to know.
No, nothing like that. Well, not exactly.
I'm dying to know, but I'm not going to ask. What's this at the bottom?
That, the tub of water, ignore that. It's relevant only in terms of the various metaphors around bathing that may emerge. It'll be something else, the sea, or maybe even the Thames.
Maintaining intimacy in marriage. Niels, such a challenge. I know what it's like to be married, which is probably why I never did it again. Well, but of course, I'm happy to look after the children during this time. I'm their grandmother, of course. This is what I must do at my age this time. It is wonderful.
Good. Thanks. I'm thinking of the story of Rostam, by the way.
Rostam and Sohrab?
Sort of a Rostam of the Thames. My father used to tell me that story all the time.
When the Persian sky was larger than it's now, there was an invisible warrior by the name of Rostam, defender of the king and destroyer of enemies. One night, far from home, Rostam, hot with wine and scent of dreams, was awoken by a fairy woman. When a portion of the night was spent and the star of morning stood high in the arch of heaven, this moon, beauty spoke him words of desire. They were joined then, each to other, as the river is to the flood bank. Yet Rostam was carried away from his beloved by destiny, from whom no one escapes. 9 moons passing, this pari-faced angel, this woman, brought forth son called Sohrab. Sohrab grew and stature, beauty, and strength, all unknown to his father. This boy's passion and endurance nearly equal to that of his parents. Sohrab recalled on his horse to seek Rostam whenever he might meet him. So he came past that on his journey, Sohrab came to the place where Rostam was. Sohrab refused to speak his true name to Rostam, and neither knew each other. Such is tragic story in the end.
If only they'd been less aggressive and more polite, introduce themselves. Hello, my name is Rostam, nice to meet you. Oh, what a coincidence, I'm Sohrab, son of Rostam.
Polite? Polite is the death of tragedy.
While we hide our identity from ourselves, from other people, survival is endangered.
Visual art has the potential to reveal things as poetically, if not more, than the poet himself. What is that for?
Shahnameh and Identity by Dr. Mina Nishat. You inspire me, Dr. Nishat.
Well, I'm flattered. But don't get too carried away with this version of Rostam and Sohrab. It's over-poeticized. I declaimed this to my student on the first day of term. Anyone who sighs, oh, it is so poetic, so romantic, I make an example of them.
Wow!
Beware of exotic translators. I mean those that exoticize. This is an
Do you mean say
important lesson for my student. Shahnameh has poetic tones, but no, it is direct, powerful.
Yet your own work is highly poetic.
It is my work. I can be as poetic as I like. All these early starts, I'm needing something stronger than tea. If I only could drink coffee, it makes me completely high. I would drink gallons of it. Isn't it chilly here?
Perhaps I left a window open.
Shall I put the heat on?
Oh, yeah, if you like.
Kasabala Giamaj, Abena Ulsum, Naka, Ama, Era, Mohamela. Wheesht! Speak the King's English, Damata. Aren't we all Irishmen here together, sir? Together lost in a strange land.
Ha! You're the man out of place, boy. Here, again. Michael slaps Parrot on the side of the head.
Be here in between us as well. Will you not hear me out, sir?
Hear you!
And if you hate the hearing of it, sir, I'll not darken your door, musha, never again.
Michael suddenly drags.
Parrot to the window. I know about maps. I do, sir. I've got a good hand and a good eye. I'm from Cork, sir, and my father is a map maker.
A map maker. There's none but surveyors in Ireland, and few enough Irish ones.
And were you not a surveyor yourself, sir, before the army? I'm sure that you were.
Who told you that? You'll talk on anything rather than go for a swim, I reckon.
Projection of Rostam and Sohrab fighting for the second time.
Michael and Parrot are well matched, and as much as he'd like to, Michael is incapable.
Of heaving Parrot out the window. Nak narin tu fuat, ashantir awena uso. No wena, a vein tuinan, lech fui, lech wena literature, a hagen and a scalana.
Near Cala Ben, a gumsa, other a large thin shot here.
Well, are you not after wanting a boy to fetch and carry for you and make the work all the faster?
I've no need of an apprentice. And you're too old to be sure.
Indeed. Why not try me? It's less trouble to give me a try than out the window with me.
Make me a map. If I like it, I'll not call the bailiff.
A map to a pasty shop near the Seven Dials?
7 Dials! You'll have me murdered, is it? Before you take possession of all this money.
No, sir. No, indeed, I misspoke. Before the Seven Dials, Maiden Lane in Covent Garden.
What's this?
It's the only thing I've stolen from you. I made it, sir, as you can see, with your own pen and paper and the like.
Well, there's another thing you stole from me. Paper is dear.
No, it's the only thing I've stolen from you, and now I grant it back to you, sir. In nobles, which is as good as to return double the interest on money borrowed. Indeed, I might say, you've asked me for a map, and your wish granted before you wished it for it, Captain.
How's Alfred?
Yeah?
Alfred?
Oh, he's fine after the knee replacement. He recovered more or less. He complains that he never sees me, even at my age, maybe especially at my age. One needs intimacy. It's what makes life go on.
Perhaps he and Farhad should live together and complain in unison.
You'll have us cross Blackfriars Bridge, I see. Why in the world must it be a pasty shop across the river?
It needn't be, sir, only I thought as how some distance might be the best exhibition of skill.
Then who's to buy the pasties, I wonder? Michael puts on his coat. Look lively now! Picking up a long knife and slipping it into his boot. You're not thinking I'll leave you in possession of the home, Amadan?
Not that I mind being with Neda and Simon all the time. They were growing up. Soon they will be at the university. No more lively voices about the house. Less dishwashing. But you miss even that when they're grown. It is so sad, the empty nest.
These days, many kids come back and live at home.
Yes, well, maybe.
And still, after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. The poet Hafiz, and you, a professor of Persian studies.
I would have recognized the Hafiz if you said it in Persian.
Well, not with my accent, you wouldn't.
Or even a decent translation. Don't tell me Daniel Ladinsky.
It might be. Yes, I think it is Daniel Ladinsky.
That's not translation, it's creation. You see, Niaz, this is your challenge. You will never be Iranian, nor English either. Niaz John, it is nothing personal. It is just the way it is.
Michael returns and takes off his coat.
Or curls up under the table and goes to sleep.
Niaz begins to work on the drawing again. Projection of 3 photos. 1, Niaz touching Michael's neck. 2, Niaz touching his torso. 3, Niaz touching Michael's hand.
Every time she draws a line, Michael is alive to the sense of someone touching his spine, his legs, his neck. Finally, so disturbed by these sensations, he takes off his shirt and examines the lining for bleeds. Michael redresses hurriedly and exits.
Clear F now! I can't get blood on a stone now, can I? I'll pay as soon as I can.
Mina hangs up her coat.
Then she takes a smudge stick out of her bag and lights it in the kitchen.
She unknowingly drops a brochure on the floor.
Took me ages to find a shop with the tea you like. And make yourself at home.
This is always a good thing to do. Don't you find the smell calming? I am a little on edge these days.
It was just as well that I like the smell.
Don't tell Farhad, please, Niaz. You know what he's like. He will treat me like a superstitious old woman.
What can he have to say about lighting incense? We care too much about what he thinks.
It is not caring what he thinks. It is how much of a pain in the arse.
A pack of cards falls from Porrick's pocket.
Cards, is it?
Oh, well, sir, I like cards well enough.
The cards the reason you're on your knees now.
I like them well enough, indeed. You know, on the ship, that was all there was to do for those not puking their guts out. In the way of passing time cards or a grand idea.
In a way of getting yourself into debt. And a bad one, I reckon.
If you don't mind casting your eye.
Oh, are you not after thinking yourself a bad yourself?
No, sorry.
Butter will melt you, Alan. You are here on sufferance. Remember that if you have an ounce of sense. And furthermore, take note. I am highly unaccustomed to sharing the rooms with a bog man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, a lad with peek behind the ears. Lie to me, turn a false hand, and it's out the window with you. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir. If you don't mind casting your eye over it,
Yeah,
sir, as
aye.
to correct my errors.
Right, here enough. Aye, fair play. Now what's this?
The view was badly crowded, so we used the artificial horizon, and then a cart went by.
Aye, vibration ruined the measurement. Aye. We crossed that one up, went back on Sunday. Well then, you may do it in ink now.
May I?
I won't repeat myself.
Yours returns with the tea.
Two visitors, just like last time. So it has come to pass that on his journey, Sohrab came to the place where Rustam was. Once again, they grappled in a single combat. Rustam and Sohrab took to smiting each other until the ground shone with blood. Rustam smote Sohrab a killing blow. Now, feeling his life flow forth from his vein into heaven, Sohrab spoke thus: I stepped not forth for empty glory, but went out to seek my father. I perish for longing after him. All my pains now fruitless, as I have not been given to see his face. Yet you could be a fish that swims in the deepest ocean, or a star lost in a night's obscurity. Still my father, when he knows I am dead, will discover you and bring down vengeance on your head. This will he do, when he shall learn that the earth has become my bed for my father's Rustam.
Is this the poetic version or the direct version? I wouldn't dare guess.
The directly poetic version, also the abridged version. This story of Rustam and Sohrab is not just Iranian. Did you know that in Ireland they have the same story of their great hero, Kuhlan and Kamla?
Yes, a universal story of a father who unknowingly kills his own son.
But in modern times, the Persian story is almost ubiquitous and very political, very meta. My sense is that this is not what you are wanting to express.
Why not?
Rustam and Sohrab, it has come to represent the older generation killing revolutionary fire of the younger generation. The fact that this repeats itself in our history again and again.
I was born today. I was born tomorrow, rather. Today I live. Yesterday killed me.
Yes, exactly. This is particular experience, but you have another experience, huh? Your own unique experience?
I feared death. I feared death with a touching constancy. I knew how it should arrive. A blade will come out the blue, but then I will come at death from the side and slice him right down the middle, I said. And his eyes will start right out his head.
My mother made me swear I'd never go for a soldier, never fight for the British as my father did.
Look lively. You're spitting all over the table.
I couldn't sleep, sir. Someone hereabouts was crying out with nightmares.
What's this?
Chishod, what? Didn't you hear that? A bang, like a car backfiring, or worse?
No.
The devil take it!
You mean that?
Yes.
Oh, it's just a door slamming in the pub below.
We are on high alert tonight.
I've not been listening to the news.
Now will you look at that park? What is that?
Well, might be a sea monster, sir.
Yes, be God, a sea monster. And in the Thames?
Mother taught me geography from my father's maps, sir. They were quite infested with all manners of sea monsters, occasionally even on land.
The maps of the past were more than a tad fictional. It would seem to us no harm to embellish here and there. But no more sea monsters, or you'll be looking at the other side of that door. If you can't help yourself, exile them to the extreme margins, and I'll see and say nothing.
Sir, no doubt, this is a womanish fancy.
Then refrain from uttering it, if you don't mind.
Surely I'm not much of a thinker. My talents lie elsewhere.
But do they now?
If such talents are not evident, sir, then no doubt I misspeak. Might there be a place for that which is merely beautiful?
Your sea monster on a map is like to a siren luring men to their doom. Beauty is a great beguiler, Park, deluding us with hope where none exists.
Speak of maps, sir.
Fancy is a great temptation. Beauty, inaccuracy of line and form, is most poetically expressed. Today, Park, we have these tools at our disposal. Yet here, a sea monster. What's this, a mermaid, is it? Distracted by this irrelevant whimsy, might the reader not fall to his death? Across the misty moors, he wanders instead of straight down the Roman road.
Sir,
I've got a headache. Yes, here, you have this correctly. Only ensure that this line be bold and thick, so as not to confuse it with the broken lines here. So see to the legend, so as to maintain a pleasing constancy. Once you've left off these doodlings, the geometry comes clean enough. Well done. Park, in light of today's advances, beautifying devalues a man's veracity. Beauty in accuracy alone. Make that your motto.
I take your point, sir.
That, as well, for complaining, gets us flutes in a handbasket.
My friend has fled, alas, my friend has fled, and left me naught but tears and pain behind. Drunk with desire, I seized love's cup divine, but she that held it poured the bitter wine of separation into it and fled.
Such an impressive memory. Such useful quotes. You never quote the Quran, always Sadi or Hafiz. My father was the same, always Hafiz.
The Quran is Arabic text. This is distance to be overcome.
My father would always say, Inshallah, this family will always leave the Quran to the Muslims.
A funny man, a good communist. No matter how hard things got there, Reza making a joke. A love of Hafiz is the only thing most Iranians can agree on. The long-drawn tyranny of grief shall pass, parting shall end, and meeting the lament of the sad bird that sang, alas, alas, shall reach the rose in her red curtain tent.
Gee, Lynn, I hope you've not caught a cold.
Quote from the mosque.
The tavern calls to me.
Beg your pardon?
Nothing, sir.
Well, if you're dying for a drink, there's a pub downstairs.
You feverish, is it, lad? Well, you don't feel hot.
Fine, sir, leave off.
Farhad is seen in the Salahi Sadat home. He's trying to work cleaning swathes of cloth onto a dressmaker's garment.
Farhad is working again.
Good.
He's functioning, which is what he tends to do best. Work is a good way to avoid anything you want to push under the rug.
By all means, let's not push things under the rug. What's that? A brochure for houses in Paris, not just to rent, but also to buy.
So, Where did it come from?
This isn't yours then?
Oh well. Perhaps I picked it up by mistake.
Farhad pricks himself with a pin. Ah, pick's sake! Neda, can you bring me a band-aid?
Yes, Bobo, in a minute.
What a coincidence! Your old neighborhood in Paris.
Do you remember when beard came into fashion?
Yes, Farhad grew one.
And then he shaved it off in 2 days because of how he was treated in the shop. Looked at with suspicious on the street.
He cares what people think, and people in London are friendly enough as it is. What does this have to do with Paris?
This map here, sir, it's for tourists. To London, is it not?
The City of London, extending a hand of welcome. Imagine that.
But then, for your birthday, he grew it back because you liked it.
Yes, but then he had the same issues when he went out. It was making him unhappy, so I told him to shave it off again.
You see?
See what?
The secret drugs of wine and love repressed are joy's foundation.
What on earth does this have to do with beards?
Love that clearly exists must not be repressed.
How is it you've become so romantic all of a sudden? Ah, here's your old flat. Look, it's for sale.
I sit down and relax for just a moment, and before I know it, nearly 5 o'clock, your children will be wanting their dinner.
My children know how to make their own dinner.
Ah, a can of baked beans does not a dinner make. You've got enough rubbish around here. I will throw it away on my way out.
Chapman here.
Sir, what's this? There, the maiden edition. Lawless Street, hard by Lyndhurst Square. There's no street there, nor Lawless Street is in the borough at all, is there?
It's a trap street.
What trap street?
To trap a thief, Mark. A false street with a mapmaker's devising. A street that doesn't exist. If my map be copied, I may prove the plagiarism by evidence of this non-existent street on the thief's felonious copy. Lawless is my family name.
Lawless.
We can call the next one Park Street if you prefer. Where are you off to?
The necessary.
Michael hastily unwraps a parcel he's been keeping under the table. It is a pair of new boots. You need boots. There they are, it seems.
Porrick takes off his old boots, which are indeed falling apart. Sir, the map here is unfinished. Is it not a military map of Busaco, I think? The battle there in Portugal where so many were lost.
Do you know why I've never had an apprentice, Park? It occurred to me that I might spend a great deal more time explaining every trivial detail than accomplishing me business.
Indeed.
What with Pickett and Company sitting around their man to evaluate progress daily. They're after hanging on to the reckoning until we finish with that map entire.
Isn't that my door? You'll lay all the blame of that as well.
And who else, pray? You're my apprentice, are you not?
Is an apprentice, sir, a person upon which to heap culpability?
When I was an apprentice, the appellation of person was a title I might only aspire to.
Do you advise me not to set my sights above my station?
A risen Irishman has only the farther to fall. You'll make quite a crash on the ground there if you're not careful.
And what of you, sir? To what depths do you know yourself to have fallen? That at every turn you strive to humiliate me.
I hold you responsible for the execution of your work. If I'm exacting, it is to make you better.
Am I behind to thank you for it, sir? Thank you, sir. They gave me, Mr. Fairclough, an advance for his portion of the guidebook, I'm sure as they did.
Well, tell me something to bowl me over with amazement. The man's English.
Sure, but I should have thought a man such as yourself.
There's never anything to think but the worst.
Would you have me apply the maxim to you, sir? This is almost finished, so as we must look to the military map, only you appear to be putting it off. It seems to me. It's the thing I most look forward to, as a map of this sort I've not yet put my hand to.
Military maps and city maps are born in the same methods.
Or not their purposes diverse.
Perhaps.
The one made to illuminate the path for a wanderer, a chance visitor, and the other.
Describing the movement of men over land in order to die.
Thus, their uses are various, would you not say?
I suppose.
Yet you said this moment, the beauty of a map lies in its veracity. Are these maps the same as our tourist maps then, sir?
It is quite clear you have a present desire to tell me they are not.
Well, a military map may tell of events past, while the map of Southwark illuminates the many paths a man may choose of his own volition.
Indeed.
How armies were amassed and moved against each other. Are these men, sir?
No, they are
I am
rectangles.
meant to suppose they are men.
The legend is your oracle.
But you were there, sir, weren't you? And did they stand like this in squares, neat and clean on this page?
No.
Thus your military map is absent of men, and we have maps of battles that appear to be fought by no one at all. Neither do they show which men were lost, who never returned home to a wife, to a child.
Nor the reasons therein.
Thus your map, your military map, is a liar's map.
The easel has moved. It now faces the bed.
Niaz and Michael are in the bed. Clearly, they are dreaming sensual dreams.
Niaz goes to put the kettle on. She looks at her painting.
What's your name? Michael? When was the last time I was called Michael?
Longing. In my dreams, there's longing. In my dream, I long to be tattooed. I know that it will hurt, but I long for that. The agony of desire increases. I notice I'm weeping. Black tears burn me with my name, in English and in Persian. Esme man Niaz ast.
Michael puts his stockings, shoes and coat on, finds a ewer of water.
Niaz goes to the kitchen to pour her tea, English.
Oh, wash it! The water's frozen.
I brought back the black ink you asked for. The price has gone up. There's no coin left, I'm sorry to say.
Michael breaks the ice in the ewer with a knife, pours the water into a bowl.
Hurrick lays out a towel for Michael.
Michael performs his ablutions. There was a strange lady appeared, gave men a most terrible fear. From her head to her shin, they drowned her in gin, but found her more scrumptious with beer.
Projection of a photo of Michael in Paris with Niaz dressed as a fairy.
Is that a tavern song?
Me own invention. I'm quite the man of parts. Do you think to walk up my sleeve, boy?
No, sir. How do you mean? It's true, indeed, about the cost, but I wasn't able to go to the usual shop. McEnroe's was shut, a death in the family, and so I had a deal to go across the river, in fact, to find the quality ink we're after. So alas, more costly.
What's that smell? Do you not smell that?
What, sir?
Smell those sheets.
Sheets?
Smell them. Go on. Put your face in it. Well,
Very nice. Are you using this up, sir?
pardon you. Look, I've a mind to pardon you, if indeed it's so. Now come clean. There's a good lad.
Come clean. If I come clean, you pardon me. What What do you mean, sir?
Have you had a lass in here?
Alas. Alas, sir, time to be a fine thing.
Park, do you recall that tent? Green and gold. They'd set it out by the river.
Yes.
A grand spectacle with scenes from Persia. Only last week, was it?
Projection.
A sumptuous green and gold tent with men queuing up outside.
You said we'd not the time, sir, so we carried on past.
Time was not at issue so much as the sordid sights within.
Indeed.
No, but... Well, you're in my care, Park. Sure, that was the reason we passed at such a trot.
Might you have gone in, sir, otherwise?
There's a woman in these rooms. I don't know how, but it is so.
Perhaps you should have gone into that tent, sir. Clear it out, sir.
There is a knock on the door.
Miaz answers the door.
You're in a good mood this morning.
Somebody, you've brought me coffee.
Mina gets a mango out of her bag.
And a mango?
Something else too, but it is a surprise. My second cup. I don't know why I stopped drinking coffee. It doesn't seem to affect me at all. It's very warm here. Look at him. Right on top of the bed. How old are you?
Miaz?
You know, as a woman, we go through a lot of changes. Here I am, at my age, still too warm sometimes. When I was in my 30s, always cold hands and feet. Feel them now. You don't have to be, how do you say, menopause?
Menopause?
Of course, well, you don't have to be in a menopause to have changes. You can be, how do you say, premenopause?
Perimenopause.
Yes, of course. Perimenopause is nearly as bad. You might feel hot at night. You might have a strong sex drive one day and no sex drive next week. You might feel angry at your spouse for things that at another time would seem nothing. You might, in fact...
Mina, you're high.
Well, I'm just saying. Farrod's here, by the way.
Where?
He's at a cafe around the corner. The coffee is from him, and this too.
Is this Farhad's idea?
Mina purchased a bag of pie pastry.
Is this Farhad's idea, Mina?
What is?
Coming to surprise me, unannounced. It's
Who cares?
It's your idea.
Who cares the idea? He's here because he wants to see you.
Was it his idea that you come up instead of him?
I thought if you were busy, it would be better that I interrupted you instead of him. I persuaded him to wait.
Busy? I'm not allowed to be busy. I welcome you in and make you tea no matter how often or inconvenient.
You're angry. Well, okay. But I don't think we need to reach the level of shouting again.
I'm not shouting. Why are you here instead of Farhad?
Well, I don't know anything about all this. I don't know the arrangement for this separation.
We're not separated.
Who knows what's happening here? I was afraid you might not be alone.
Do you know what a happy ending is, Mina?
What?
A happy ending.
Of course, you mean to the story.
No.
Well, you would like a happy ending with Pharaoh, you mean?
Oh, Mina.
There aren't any happy endings, just ups and downs. If my behavior is pushy, believe me, no one likes it less than me. I despise interference, but things are going off the deep end. You have been away for 4 weeks without seeing Farhad at all.
Miaz picks up Mina's book.
When there is too much silence between people,
Gorda Farid and the woman warrior climbs up the fortress walls. Longing throws us against rough walls when we insist to pursue our desires. This isn't what happened in the story exactly, but in truth, it is what happens. Look at Gorda Farid. She's alone up there. She has vanquished her lover. She returns to her father, climbing up the walls of her castle. Yet she's unaccustomed to moving in a straight line. Her life in the house is circular. She cooks. She picks up discarded items. She goes to the well for water. She cleans the pots. She cooks. Only at night, alone, she polishes her armor while everyone is asleep. Why is her back exposed? Where is her shining armor? It's fallen away. This that she polished was only an illusion. There's only her naked back. She'll be shot by an arrow if she's seen. But it is not possible to hide every part of ourselves. If a man went off to work for a month, no one would bat an eyelid.
A man is staying in his studio a tube ride away from his family for 4 weeks. And in all that time, he never sees his wife. I think we would bat an eyelid. But okay, if this is all it is, that you need to work, then why have you become so rude and subtle
Well, don't stop there.
why have you become so childish, Niaz? Whenever you talk about Farhad, your husband, why is Farhad so upset?
What does he say?
Nothing.
Well, that's unusual. Farhad went to Soho.
Soho? A few of his suppliers are in Soho.
Farhad didn't go to his suppliers, he went for a massage. Mina, I can't explain this to you. I thought you were a woman of the world. Think of other words that mean ending.
Conclusion?
Finish?
Close.
Completion?
Death.
Announcement?
Resolution.
Resolution?
Yeah?
You said something.
No, I didn't.
Climax?
Happy ending means happy climax. At a massage parlor in Soho.
He must have wandered in, tired from work, when they asked him if he wanted... But who would say no to a happy ending? I wouldn't. Perhaps they didn't ask. Perhaps they just...
Mina, we both know that when Iranian men think massage, they're thinking sex. He went back twice more that week to the same place, then every week for 3 months.
He told you about it?
Yes.
He loves you.
Feeling guilty is not the same as loving. I know about these places, but I didn't know what the phrase happy ending meant. Until I found a business card in Farhad's trouser pocket, you know, doing the laundry. And it said massage and this phrase on it, happy endings. And I asked Simon if he knew what that meant. And he said, he looked embarrassed. Yeah, Mom, but I'm not telling you what that is. Look it up, why? Top of everything, our son knows what a happy ending is. And now, thanks to me, he's wondering if his dad is getting one in Soho. I said to Farhad, you talk to Simon about this, say something, lie even, rather than leave him guessing.
Niazjan, it is much better if Farhad has a straight, natural talk with him. Lying not good. These things are part of life. I'm going to talk to Farhad.
No, Mina, no. How would you even begin this conversation?
Has there been anything else other than things like that?
Other things? He swears this was it. Well, this was enough. It's disgusting to me that so many men think it's not about sex if there's no penetration.
It doesn't matter the penetration. It is about compartmentalization.
Take Bill Clinton, for example. He did have sex with that woman. Sexual activity is sex.
Something was wrong to begin with. This is just a symptom of need unfulfilled.
Obviously. I'm hardly a prude. And maybe I don't even want exclusivity. Maybe the time for such things have passed.
Yes.
Oh, have I shocked you finally? But if this is the case, then there should be a discussion. They want to be with someone else, but they don't care to tell you because shock, horror. What if we want something, the same thing? What if I said to Farhad, you don't mind if I go to the pub and see what I can pull, do you? Just for tonight, don't wait up. Or to be completely fair and equivalent, I'll hire an escort. Male, female, doesn't matter.
Does Farhad do anything else?
What? Be specific.
Like, online, the internet?
No. Well, I mean, not often. He's too fastidious.
A happy ending in Soho is fastidious.
Good point. But to be fair, he hates the computer, hates the internet, except for political blogs, textiles, Pinterest, and fashion shows on YouTube. Porn isn't out of the question, but neither is it top of his list. Strange, given his work, but at least for a man, he's tactile as well as visual. You know, the way his designs are about rich texture. His clothes not only look nice, I try to talk to him about what I'm doing. I've stopped trying. It's too much effort.
Iranian men don't praise much. Except to say you are beautiful. Alfred, on the other hand, praises my mind, but I only know how he feels about me by the way he looks at me. Farhad is probably in awe of what you can do, feel your art as an experience rather than something to talk about.
That's a great excuse. It's just the sort of thing he would say, really poetic. Azizam, I feel your work. I don't need to think about it. Niaz puts a pastry on a plate and gives it to Mina.
Mina and Niaz eat pastry.
Niaz is sitting in front of the mango.
Have you ever seen a thing that large?
Yes,
Really?
in India.
Mind you, I think I have it all at the docks over in Cork. What are you about, sir?
It's called a mango. Michael picks up a mango, smells it, puts it back.
Menjo.
It's a fruit, one that you eat.
In India, the finding of a menjo is an indication for a dance about the room.
Did you lock the door when you come in?
Oh, it did?
Was it there this morning?
No. No, it wasn't.
And it surely didn't roll in on its own. Did you not put it there, Park? Where'd you get the money? Those are dear things, if you can find them at all.
Me? I've got no money, sir. Why, you suppose she brought it to us as a gift?
Who?
Have you not seen them?
Certainly not. Who? Well, I'm not so clever as I appear to be.
Yeah, we're in agreement there, sir. Well, rest assured, you'll see the reason of it once it's explained slowly. We're cheap by gel to the Thames, a watery grave for some, but to others a watery causeway, not only for the boats upon it, but also for mysterious creatures living in the deeps.
But now remind me, Park, for it's been a long time since I sat at my mother's knee. What sort of mysterious creatures?
Projection of Niaz and Mina.
Depicted as fairies, the Shia that live in water.
Rein in the sarcasm, sir, for this is another sort of world. The road has come to us. What have we to do but walk upon it?
You sure now that map making is the trade you're after? You're not after being a priest now, are you, Park?
How would you explain it now? The Shia, the good people, live not only on land but also in the water. Those of the river, as you must know, are called Mora, and wear red caps or a cloak. Indeed, in these modern times, should there be any reason at all that Mora should not bear manjigos?
Projection shifts to reveal the same picture as Shia, but with Mina holding a mango. Michael throws back the covers on the bed.
What are you after finding, sir?
I'm looking for the final draft of Southwark.
You have the right to search for it in every nook and cranny, indeed. They're dainty in stature when they're after hiding for us. It's right there, sir. A draft.
Michael snatches the draft from Park and lays it out.
Park snatches it back. rolls up mass crisply and puts it in the document case.
That's a woman's trick, is it not? To lay out the fruit in a bowl. Why should such a thing appear so pleasing? Michael gives way to urgent desire, grabs the mango, peels it and cuts it up.
اگر نون کسی رو خوب می‌خوری همیشه هم بخور.
If you eat someone's bread, you must.
If you eat someone's bread, you must eat their grief too. And in that passage about Godofari, there is no separation between the family life and herself. This is a challenge, but this is also a reward. Her identity is all of these things, but you have to set your limits. Get Farhod's attention. Insist on more support.
Niaz reaches for the book.
Before you quote myself back to me, survival is endangered when we hide. He can't hide from you, and you can't hide from him.
What absolute crap.
I beg your pardon?
Rosa niyazing in dark corners on the one hand, preaching honesty on the other.
How offensive.
Please don't tell Farhad, Niyaz.
We are not talking about my habits. We are talking about...
I'm talking about hypocrisy. I'm talking about Paris. I ran into one of your advisees yesterday, Farnaz. She's devastated to know that Professor Neshad won't be teaching next term because you're moving to Paris.
Do you have an opinion about this?
I have an opinion. You're deserting us.
Forgive me at my age for wanting to have a life with Alfred and without interruptions.
Ah, you understand me then.
You? What do you mean?
Coming round all the time, trying to lure me back home, behaving as if you can't possibly understand why I don't want to spend all my time looking after Farhad and the children, who aren't little anymore, when in fact you understand all too well. You want us to get back together as soon as possible so you can leave us and piss off to Paris.
Piss off to Paris. It has a nice rhyme into it, doesn't it? I don't like to argue.
With me or with Farhad?
With anyone.
You may not like arguing with me, but you're afraid to argue with Farhad.
It is none of his business whether I Rosa Niyaz around the house or whether I move to Paris. This is no one's business.
It's no one's business that you moved to Paris. Farhad has become the man.
What man?
The man you have to please. Niaz picks up the book and opens it.
Mina snatches it from her and stuffs it in her bag. He will never let it alone. He will go on and on. When I think with relief, good, this is over now, he will start up again. Every dinner conversation, an ideological battle, even though this is not ideological, but my personal choice.
Put your foot down for a change!
I am putting my foot down now, and look how you have reacted.
Keeping secrets about moving to Paris is putting your foot down? Brokering our marriage is putting your foot down?
I will be happy to stop interfering when I am no longer unpaid babysitter day and night. Don't assume that because I am old I don't have a life.
But you offered to help. You always offer.
I am inviting you to return me down.
You don't want to look after the kids anymore?
No, yes, but not indefinitely, with no end in sight and no explanation.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, Nios, but I'm putting my feet down. I won't help with the children anymore. I'm going home to Alfred, and this is that. Farhad can't deliver on his own new designs for Marks and Spencer if he has to take the children to football. But I imagine you will both have to work it out.
Yes, we will.
Neto has 2 important matches this week. Simon needs help on an essay.
Farhad is good at essays and he loves football. I'll give him a chance to support Simon with something.
You will come home and help with the children, but you will still have to be there, I'm sure.
No,
Know what?
I'm not able to come home right now.
Not able? You have 2 legs, 2 arms.
I've 2 more paintings after this. He's almost finished. If I leave now, I'll lose the thread. I'll fall into doing what I've always done. This is the opportunity for me, Mina, with the large gallery. If I don't do this now, I will no longer call myself an artist.
So dramatic.
Did no one help you with Farhad when you were getting your degree or applying to university positions?
I think it is best for all of us, for all of you, that I don't keep enabling this stalemate. Mina is getting her things and leaving.
Okay. You won't mind if I tell Farhad then
What?
that you're moving to Paris. And I will also tell him how nice it was to watch you dance about burning incense and cleansing the room with sage like a new age hippie.
You will say nothing to Farhad about anything. I will look after the children for 2 more weeks.
3.
3. What has happened to that mango?
Pádraig and Michael settled to eating the mango with groans of pleasure from Pádraig.
Pádraig notices that the mango has the mellowing effect of a glass of wine. You are in India, sir. If the women were as delicious as this mango, I can only imagine.
Keep those imaginings in check, or you're like to run mad.
Are you speaking of God, sir?
No, I'm speaking of flesh. I learned more in India about map making than anywhere else. Almost entirely unmapped until we came.
Like Ireland.
Indeed, indeed. People are not after having themselves mapped by outsiders. To map a place is to hold it in your hand. Sure, I'd stand there, Pádraig, and stare into that bright sky till I wept. Hours attempting to locate the best topographical marker. It became a religion to me.
I saw you, Captain, at Our Ladies of a Sunday taking communion. Well, it's against our search to rise in the ranks of the army.
The army didn't ask if I were a Catholic, as they suspected the answer would prove inconvenient. That's how the army rubs along.
Is it how you rub along, sir?
Well,
Not ask unless the answer should prove inconvenient.
you have your secrets. Why should I pry?
As to you, sir, so I imagine you're at the battle there with my father, at Pasoca in Portugal.
Do you imagine that I might know one man out of thousands? Even if we were in the same regiment as
I've
himself.
seen your regimental badge, sir, and my father, well, he was, as it happens, but my father didn't die there, though I've ne'er laid eyes on him. Why should a man who survived such a thing walk straight off the map?
Walk off the map.
Oh, live only to disappear, run away.
I will.
I was born after he took the king's shilling. I can't tell them the manner of the man from the air of his absence, can I?
You can't know the heart of a man even when he walks beside you. Nor take into heart if a man's lost himself. There's many here who wandered lost for days, wounded. There's men who forgot themselves for months. It might have been anything, Pádraig.
What thing, sir? If you were to guess, I mean, what thing might it be?
Uncertain ground in the manner of his return. No longer finding in himself the man he recognised. Knowing his home to be a distracted shore in which he'd only lose his footing. There are many causes leading to faulty calculations, Pádraig. Your father, as much as yourself might also wish. We are all eager to see a pleasing completion to things unknown. And in our haste to close the circle, may we not measure out an illusory conclusion. A false symmetry, if you will. Pleasing to the heart, but entirely unlikely. Michael takes the map from the back of the easel and holds it up to Pádraig. The lines here on this map, for instance. So what's this?
Sir,
This thing here on the back of this map. Is this yours?
One of Niaz's early sketches of Michael, naked.
Is it yours?
What is this? Constable Giamatti, certainly not, sir. In honor of shame, we put it away, sir.
If you didn't draw this monstrosity, who did? Oh, give a flying hand for rendering with your sea monsters and mermaids. Were you spying on me from the first? To make a what? A fool of me, is it?
No, sir, no, indeed.
Not only do you steal from me,
Steal from you, sir.
but the matter with the ink. So costly there was no coin left. I let it pass. God forgive me. Gambling debt.
Yes, sir.
You show such talent, Baba here. So I let it pass. But this, I can't.
Did I not say the Shia were here, sir? It's them that play such tricks to set men against each other. I can think of no other cause for such a thing, truly. Sir,
Michael pushes him hard.
Park falls over and readies himself as fast as he can.
Michael comes at him.
There is a distant boom, the sound of a bomb going off, the lights go out. All that can be seen is Niaz's face in the light of her phone. Niaz dials another number.
Hello?
Mina, did you hear that?
No, what's happened?
It sounded like a bomb. The ground shook, the lights are out.
It must be close to you then. Everything's quiet here.
Are you at home?
No, I'm at your house with the children.
Is Farhad there? I just tried him, but he didn't pick up.
No, Niaz, he went to see you.
What? He's not here. I'll call him again. I'll let you know. Bye for now.
Mina turns on the TV.
An explosion has gone off near South Bank, London. The cause of the explosion is as yet unclear. Police and other emergency personnel are assisting. Areas of SE1 have been cordoned off and are only accessible to emergency vehicles. The public is being asked to please stay where you are, including anyone residing in SE1 or currently in transit. Tubes and trains in zones 1 and 2 are being held at station.
He's not picking up. I'll text him. Let me know if you hear of him. I'll ring you if I hear.
They're talking about an explosion at South Bank. That's near you. What if he was there?
What time did he leave?
I didn't look at my watch. I'm not sure.
Try not to think about it. Pray, Roz on Niaz. I'll keep texting him. Niaz texts Farhad.
Mina prays.
Niaz lights candles. Projection, Rostam and Sohrab.
Light reveals
Michael and Parrot fighting. They are bloodies, punching each other.
Niaz sees Michael and Parrot.
Michael is down.
Hurricane the upper hand backs off.
the sound of semi-automatic gunfire is heard in the distance.
Sir,
Michael lunges upwards with a knife.
Parrot is stabbed, falls.
Michael takes him into his arms.
Projection, the death of Sohrab.
Park! Park!
Niaz goes to her easel and begins to tear the canvas.
With each rip, the projected images from Charmanet disappear in order of last to first, leaving only the first image of Rostam. All lights out. The sound of a helicopter makes the transition. It's dark on stage except for the light on Niaz.
Niaz is crouched on the floor with her phone.
The murmur of indecipherable broadcast, the sound of texts being received and sent.
Projection of text being sent to Farhad.
Aziza, where are you?
Azizam, are you nearby? Come to the studio.
Farhad, let me know as soon as you get this. Call Niaz.
Call your mother. I can hear gunshots.
Yes, I saw that on TV. Are you okay? Stay down, away from the windows.
No, it's not that close.
Lights up in the studio. Niaz is in the bed.
Sorry, Azizam, I didn't mean to startle you.
Niaz and Farhad embrace. I was afraid you were dead.
No, I was detained officially.
What?
I was on the way
Why?
I was on the way to you. I wanted to see you, to talk to you. I was on the next street from where it went off. They were stopping everyone. They held me during the night, interviewed me and told me to go home.
Are you all right?
My ears are ringing, but no, I'm fine, I think.
Have you called your mother?
Yes, I did.
I heard gunshots.
Special forces. But I haven't seen them.
Would you like some tea? Should you go to the hospital, maybe?
No. They gave me a look over before I went to the station. How are you?
Well, of course it was a stressful night. And is it over? Will there be more like before? I'm sure everyone's feeling like this. Let me ask kiss.
Farhad pulls Niaz into the bed. I miss you, Niaz.
You miss me?
I miss you.
In Soho?
Farhad must kiss her. I went to bloody Soho because I was wishing you. I took care of it myself, as best I could. This is a normal thing to do after a year of not having sex. It would be a normal thing to do after a shorter time than that. Please stop me if you don't want to listen. I'm not wasting my breath on deaf ears.
Go on.
Well, it was purely a professional service, like receiving a mani-pedi. Yes, it's a physical service. There's a little difference, you know. I love you. And what am I going to do? Have an affair? Messy? Disloyal? What more is to say? Look who I'm surrounded with. Wavy-like girls, 25 years younger than me. Not of interest. Well, I'm not trying to pop my ego. I'm trying to...
Pump your cock?
No! Okay, on the most basic level, yes, but... What was I to think, Niaz? Sex has always been central. You initiate more than I did. My English friends down the pub, they feel lucky if they were having it once a week. I would sit there and smile, and the whole time thinking, if only they knew. Women want sex more than men. Everybody knows that. There's no accounting for English people, but we know it. French know it.
You never talked to me about it. You never asked, why don't you want to make love?
Yes, I did. I did say this to you.
Perhaps I couldn't hear you over the noise of the washing machine, the phone calls I answered on your behalf, the dishes I was washing.
I wash the dishes.
Well, sometimes, when you're in a good mood, I was washing them every day, rain or shine, scrubbing the pattern off in my fury. This is not a basis for desire. You complained about no sex. You made angry comments.
Well, if you were angry, you should have said so. If you wanted something different, you should have said so.
You didn't say anything to me when you were thinking of getting your cock professionally serviced. Remember my mother? Right then, shall we talk about something else? That was my mother. The fact that I'm able to talk to you at all...
It's a miracle. Your father used to talk.
Yes, he did.
Niaz, my soul is my lips ready to fly, but grief beats in my heart and will not cease. Because not once before I die, will her sweet lips give my longing peace.
You asked me to marry you with Hafiz.
If this was then, but now, what would you say? You can't answer this. You want to cry or you want to shout? Do it!
Your work took off. After all my support, I thought, now it's my turn. Now I can really lean into my work. Months later, I was standing in the kitchen. You're calling me for help with something, and I've just spilled some orange juice on the floor. My phone is ringing. It's the curator at the Love Gallery. And that's when I walked out of the house.
Leaving oranges on the floor, I knew it was serious. Farhad looks at Niaz's sketches, which include ideas for color. You're doing figurative painting again. I love your work. When we first met, Your work inspired my work. I saw bodies in a new way.
You did?
Yes, I did! Didn't I say so?
No.
But then, you started doing this other work. Very modern, very accomplished. Yes, but
Very young British artist.
not very you.
No. Only that is me. I don't really know. I know that I like to abstract figurative forms a bit, but I want them to clarify, not be too obscured. It's a halfway house. I thought I'd do a piece on Gorda Farid.
This looks a bit like it. Is that Persia?
Yes, I haven't properly written it in yet.
No, it's not that bad. I can read it. Esmeman Gorda Farid hast.
Also, I'm thinking of Shirin and Farhad.
Shirin, Farhad, Khosrow. Yes. How will this manifest in a modern context? This will be interesting. Farhad sees the strips of canvas. What's this?
I started on something about Rostam and Sohrab. It wasn't quite the right fit, and so I tore it up. But I'm still going to use these pieces, incorporate them in each of these other paintings. Textual collage. These shreds of Rostam and Sohrab are a background to what's emerging. Hopefully you'll see what I mean.
These colors you're planning to use? It will be beautiful.
Farhad is asleep on the sofa. Niaz sits on the bed, awake.
Hunter climbs into the window, persons unseen are throwing rocks and horse shit at him. Thick off with you! Will you look at what's hereabouts, sir? Indeed, it's a fine mess you've got here, never fear, for I am one for the tidying up of things.
Stop it.
You won't know yourself.
Indeed.
I don't drink, never again. Jump through the streets as those lads are. You'll the next day be fit for nothing, and not for work to be sure. That's what drink leads to. Ladies, it was.
Ladies?
It was
What
only
ladies?
so, the once, and it was ladies that gave me the drink. I was never so amazed, to be sure, and, well, I confess, it brought out the singer and the dancer in me, and, the gambler, I'm sorry to say. Only, do you think, sir, might there be not occasions when the most sober man may find cause to envy the drinker?
We take up dancing, is it?
No, sir, it's the starting of a thing, the starting of the thing that ails me. Now, here you come upon me in these your rooms, to be sure, thinking.
You hesitate!
Exactly, and though you're mighty keen, you can hold me, I can't let it. Not whilst you're labouring under gross misapprehension. That and me being a thief, which is not the way of it at all.
Oh, indeed.
Lieutenant. Is it Lieutenant?
Captain!
Captain!
Captain Lawless. And just who might you be?
Lawless. You're himself then. You were pointed out to me as himself, but I had to know you for yourself indeed. Forgive me, sir. My name is Porrick.
Porrick, indeed. And your surname?
Porrick, Porrick Lawless, sir.
The projection of Rostam disappears. We are alive. As lights go down, Porrick and Michael's map is projected across the canvas. This map also features areas labelled Tehran, Paris, the Alborz Mountains. It may include aspects of the military map. It feels like a grand collage. One by one, Niaz's paintings in different stages of completion appear against the map. Of Michael and Porrick, with a sea monster snaking around them. Of Niaz as Gorda Farida, naked, tattooed with her name, and climbing up a tower. Of Farhad as Farhad in the story of Shirin, Farhad, and Khosrow. In these paintings, elements of the tailor and the map maker can be seen. The compass, the Thames.